Well, hey, howdy, hi! Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by to join me today. I really do appreciate it. My name is Ellie, and I'm a witch, and this over here is my teaching assistant, Andy, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about the history of Halloween. So Halloween today is celebrated with traditions like carving pumpkins, trick-or-treating, donning costumes, but these activities are deeply rooted in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Celebrated by the Celts over 2,000 years ago, Samhain marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, a period associated with death due to the harsh, uncertain conditions of the colder months. During this festival, the Celts believed that the boundary between the living and the spirit world thinned, which allowed spirits to roam the earth. To protect themselves from any harmful spirits, they built large bonfires, wore disguises made from animal skin, and left food offerings outside of their homes. With the spread of Christianity, Pope Gregory III established All Saints' Day, which is November 1st, as a church-sanctioned way to honor the saints, which absorbed some of the elements of Samhain. That night became known as All Hallows' Eve, and eventually evolving into Halloween as we know it. One of Halloween's most iconic symbols, the jack-o'-lantern, originated in Ireland with a very different vegetable, the turnip. According to Irish folklore, a man named Stingy Jack tricked the devil several times and as punishment was denied entry to both heaven and hell. Instead, the devil gave him a coal to light his way, which he placed in a carved-out turnip. This eerie story led people to carve faces into turnips to ward off wandering spirits like Jack. When the Irish immigrants brought the custom to America, they found that pumpkins were actually more abundant and suitable for carving, giving birth to the modern-day jack-o'-lantern. The practice of wearing costumes obviously are also traced back to the Celts, who dressed up during Samhain in animal skins to hide and to blend in with or confuse spirits and avoid being haunted. Trick-or-treating is another Halloween staple with multiple possible origins. One theory is it's rooted in the Celtic practice of offering foods to spirits during Samhain. Over time, people dressed as spirits to receive food and drink as part of this tradition. Another possible origin comes from souling in the Middle Ages, when the poor would go door to door on All Souls' Day, November 2nd, offering prayers in exchange for food. This practice devolved in Scotland into guising, where people performed songs, tricks, jokes for food and money, giving the rise to the idea of tricks in trick-or-treat. The German tradition of bell snickling during Christmas, where children dress in costumes and receive treats if they remain unrecognized, might have also influenced America's trick-or-treating. The association of black cats with Halloween dates back to the Middle Ages, when black cats were linked to witchcraft and the supernatural. During the witch hunts, black cats were often believed to be familiars or supernatural entities aiding the witches. Because of their nocturnal nature and dark fur, they became symbols of mystery and bad luck, a superstition that has survived to this day. Halloween colors, too, have symbolic roots, black representing the death of summer and orange representing the fall harvest, creating the iconic color scheme of the holiday. Other Halloween traditions have different ancient and folklore origins. Bobbing for apples, often seen at Halloween parties, originates from a Roman festival honoring Pomona, the goddess of fruit, particularly apples. When the Romans conquered Celtic lands, the Pomona festival blended with Samhain celebrations, and games involving apples were introduced to the festivities. Halloween pranks, or other mischievous fun, traces back to Devil's Night, observed in some regions the night before Halloween. Immigrants from Ireland and Scotland introduced Mischief Night traditions, and the pranks became part of the Halloween celebrations in America. The practice of lighting big bonfires has also transformed over the years. Originally, during Samhain, huge bonfires were lit to ward off spirits and to guide souls to the afterlife. This has evolved into the modern custom of lighting candles inside of pumpkins, maintaining that symbolic light that guides spirits, while also adding an eerie glow to Halloween decorations. Halloween candy is a more recent phenomenon. Up until the mid-20th century, children were given fruit, nuts, coins, and toys during trick-or-treating. By the 1950s, with trick-or-treating rising in popularity, candy companies began producing small, individually wrapped candies specifically for Halloween. These treats became safer and more convenient for parents, cementing candy's role as the primary Halloween treat by the 70s. Halloween's journey to becoming an American holiday began in the colonial era, but was actually limited to mainly southern colonies like Maryland. With the influx of Irish immigrants in the 19th century, many of whom fled Ireland from the potato famine, Halloween began to grow nationally. They brought their customs, and over time, a unique American version of Halloween formed, blending traditions from various immigrant groups with local customs. By the late 1800s, Halloween in America focused more on community activities, games, and costumes, rather than superstitions and ghosts. Early Halloween parties featured apple games, storytelling, fortune-telling rituals, especially for young women hoping to discover their future spouses through apple pairings, mirrors, hazelnuts. By the 1920s and 1930s, Halloween was celebrated with parades and town-wide gatherings, though some communities faced issues with vandalism on Halloween. The holiday became primarily child-centered in the 1950s during that post-war baby boom. When many families shifted to home-based Halloween party, trick-or-treating became more widespread, and the Halloween decorations and costumes became more accessible commercially. Today, Halloween has turned into a billion-dollar industry, second only to Christmas, with Americans spending billions annually on candy, costumes, and decorations. The holiday's cultural influence extends to popular horror films and family-friendly Halloween movies, with titles like Halloween, Hocus Pocus, and The Nightmare Before Christmas becoming essential October entertainment. Halloween's transformation from a sacred Celtic festival to a secular holiday illustrates how cultures adapt and evolve, bringing a rich tapestry of belief, customs, and superstitions to modern celebrations. Despite its shifts and adaptations over the centuries, Halloween remains a night steeped in mystery, magic, where ancient customs blend with contemporary fun. And that is all that I have for you today. This one's a fun one. I wrote this script last year. No idea why I didn't end up filming it. I mean, okay, I say that, but I'm 98% sure that I did not film this because I couldn't find a video on my channel. But if you can find it, please let me know, because I kind of remember filming it. And so I'm just worried that this is going to be a duplicate. So we'll see. But yeah, this was super fun to research and super interesting because, you know, you hear about like Samhain and All Hallows Eve and that kind of stuff, but it was like, yeah, but how did that impact Halloween? Also, this video was very difficult to film because like this is how far I can move my arms in any direction. So this is definitely not the best costume, and thankfully it's not my Halloween costume. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys know of anything Halloween tradition-wise that we have brought over, anything I missed from like Samhain, or if there's another holiday close to or that influenced Halloween, please let me know. Because I think that's super interesting and I would love to, you know, add an update next year perhaps around Halloween. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, maybe commenting, that would be fantastic. But I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day and a fantastic Halloween, and I will see you next time. Bye!